Now that's a title screen. Yo, what's up everyone? My name is SigSang, and in this video, I'm going to talk about Sonic Adventure 2 Battle and why I believe it's the best 3D Sonic game of all time. For starters, let's begin with some background info. Sonic Adventure 2 was originally released worldwide on the Sega Dreamcast on June 23, 2001. However, earlier that year, Sega announced the discontinuation of the Dreamcast due to poor sales and increased competition from its rivals, Sony and Nintendo. Because of this, Sonic Adventure 2 was soon re-released on the Nintendo GameCube as Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. It released in Japan on December 20th, 2001, and in North America on February 11, 2002, respectively. The version I've been playing and recorded this with is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on Steam. This version came out in 2012 and is essentially a high-definition release of the game. No major gameplay differences. I just think it looks the cleanest, and it's also really convenient to play since it's on PC. Now that we've gone over some of the background info, let's talk gameplay. Before starting the story, you are given two options. You can start with the Hero Campaign or the Dark Campaign. We'll be going over the Hero Campaign first. The Hero story includes what may be the most iconic Sonic level besides from Green Hill Zone, City Escape. After the opening cutscene where Sonic jumps out of a freaking helicopter, the game cuts to you playing as Sonic skateboarding down the streets of San Francisco at blistering speeds.
Now this is pod racing.
This portion of the level alone is so iconic, I can't even count how many times I've replayed it. Eventually, Sonic abandons the piece of metal he's been skateboarding on, and the normal gameplay begins. As Sonic, you'll be doing a lot of platforming and running. Although Sonic is known mainly for his speed, you'll encounter a lot of situations in this game where you'll have to confront enemies, solve puzzles, and overall just slow down the pace. This isn't a bad thing, however, as most of these sections are enjoyable and are usually followed by running sections shortly after. You aren't limited to only Sonic and the Hero story though. You also have access to Tails and Knuckles. Through the Hero story, you'll encounter a variety of different types of levels, and the game will switch you between the three characters. Each character gets about the same number of levels, 5 each for Tails and Knuckles, and 6 for Sonic, for a grand total of 16 hero levels. However, their playstyles are completely different. As Tails, you are in a mech suit that is equipped with weapons that allows you to take out enemies and acquire items. Tails is definitely the slowest paced character out of the three, and his movement can feel a bit clunky. The upside to his gameplay is that you can lock on to multiple things at once to rack up combos and earn extra points. I forgot to mention earlier that after each level, you are given a rank to rate how well you performed in a level, A being the highest rank and E being the lowest. These ranks are based off of how high a score you got throughout the level. It takes into account how many rings you collected, how fast you cleared the level, and a few other things. Tails can rack up major points with combos defeating enemies. His lock-on mechanism can be a bit deafening though. His gameplay gets better as you collect item upgrades, which is also something each of the characters can obtain. Personally, my favorite Tails upgrade is his booster, an item that allows him to hover for a brief amount of time. This makes maneuverability so much more bearable and is an essential item in the game to progress. Item upgrades are permanent for each character, but not all are required. Some item upgrades will require you to backtrack through levels, as they may not have been accessible from your first playthrough. Luckily, the game allows you to replay levels through its stage select menu. For instance, Sonic has a secret upgrade in City Escape, which is called Magic Gloves. This upgrade allows you to shrink enemies into a tiny ball and chuck them wherever you want. Now, let's talk about the third playable character in the Hero story, Knuckles. Knuckles to me has the least linear playstyle, as his levels focus on quote-unquote treasure hunting. In the story, the premise is that the Master Emerald has been broken into multiple pieces, again, and Knuckles wants to find all the pieces to restore it, again. FYI, the reason I say again is because something very similar happens in the original Sonic Adventure game. Essentially, all Knuckles levels revolve around trying to find the pieces of the Master Emerald, and how you do this is almost completely random. Throughout each of his levels, you will have a sensor that beeps to let you know if you are near a piece of the Master Emerald. The pieces can be in plain sight, hidden in breakable boxes, in walls you have to dig through, heck, they're even sometimes in enemies themselves. Also, Knuckles can fly/glide, so there's that. Now, you can understand why I mentioned he has the least linear playstyle of the three hero characters. Besides from the standard levels, you will also encounter boss battles throughout the story. The majority of these boss battles are pretty easy, but can be tedious if you haven't caught on to their battle patterns. I unfortunately have a habit of just button mashing Tails' boss battles, but I can tell you with confidence that this cheese method works. I guess we can now talk about the Dark Story characters and how their gameplay differs from the hero characters. Well, guess what? The Dark Story gameplay is essentially a mirror to how the Hero Story gameplay is. There's 3 playable characters, Shadow, Rouge, and Eggman. Shadow is a speed/platforming character like Sonic. Eggman is a mech/shooter character like Tails, and Rouge focuses on treasure hunting like Knuckles. This can sound a bit boring and redundant since they're pretty much just carbon copies of the hero characters, but I ask that you reserve judgment for a moment. Let's dig into the overarching story so we can really differentiate between the hero story and the dark story of this game. Spoiler alert, I will now be talking in detail about this game's story. If you haven't played Sonic Adventure 2 Battle before and care to keep it unknown until you play it yourself, this is the point to click off of the video. However, if you have played this game before or don't care about spoilers, let's continue. At the beginning of this video, I made the decision to start with the hero story gameplay. Similarly, I'll be going over the hero story first. There was a reason Sonic had to bust out of a helicopter in midair. He had been taken into custody because he was suspected of crimes he didn't commit. I'm not sure why he thought it'd be okay to escape, but hey, who am I to judge? Towards the end of the first level, City Escape, Sonic is pursued by a laughably large semi-truck with Gun branded across it. Gun is the in-universe military/law enforcement that apparently thinks of semi-trucks as an effective way to catch a hedgehog that's as fast as the speed of sound. Anyways, after this first level, Sonic has to go through a boss battle that leads to him encountering Shadow for the first time. Shadow is the actual hedgehog that has committed crimes, and Sonic is being framed in his place. Unfortunately, Shadow is too fast for Sonic, and he ends up in the custody of Gun again. I mentioned it briefly before, but Knuckles' story in this game revolves around the Master Emerald shattering. This happens because he gets into a scuffle with Rouge and Eggman. All the roughhousing leads to the Master Emerald breaking into like a million pieces. Knuckles knows he can fix it since it's happened before, so he gets started on his journey. The last character introduced in the hero story is Tails, who's looking for Prison Island, a military prison that he believes is where Sonic is being held. Upon arrival, he bumps into Amy, who almost gets wrecked by Eggman. Side note, Amy is a non-playable character in this game, but appears in many cutscenes. Luckily, Tails saves her butt and they begin to infiltrate the prison. It goes without saying, but please don't try this at home. So, that's the basis of the hero story. Pretty easy to follow, right? Eventually, Sonic is freed by his amigos from prison, and they begin to investigate who Shadow is and what Eggman is up to this time. Let's talk a bit about the dark story now. When you start this campaign, you are greeted with a cutscene of Eggman infiltrating a military base. Eggman is here because he wants to learn about a top secret weapon his late grandfather had worked on. After playing through the opening level as Eggman, he finds the secret weapon that had been locked away. It's none other than the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow wants to make a deal with Eggman. If he provides him with Chaos Emeralds, Shadow will grant Eggman a wish. Eggman is curious as to what could be in it for him, so he decides to begin collecting the Chaos Emeralds. Once collected, Shadow mentions to Eggman to meet him on the space colony Ark. The Ark was a research facility in outer space that was once used by Eggman's grandfather, and it is also where Shadow was created. The main story of this game revolves around this space facility, its history, and capabilities. Besides from his mission of gathering all 7 Chaos Emeralds and bringing them to the Ark, Shadow's only recollections of his past revolve around his friend Maria. Maria spent time with Shadow on the Ark, but it is implied that she did not escape with Shadow when the Ark was shut down by Gun. The game implies that she has passed away. Shadow's anger with the world and humans stems from Maria's passing. He wants to avenge her death by bringing destruction to Earth and its inhabitants. By collecting all 7 Chaos Emeralds, it will activate the Ark's true capabilities. In short, the Chaos Emeralds are gems with immense power that have multiple forms of utility. Shadow also has the ability to harness the power of the Chaos Emeralds and is able to use Chaos Control, a skill that allows him to manipulate time and space. Moving on to our last Dark Story character, Rouge the Bat. She is actually a government secret agent that has been tasked with following Eggman and Shadow to discover what they are plotting. While being a secret agent, she is also a treasure hunter, hence her fascination with the pieces of the Master Emerald. She quickly discovers the two are planning something involving the space colony Ark, which she points out to having been shut down over 50 years ago. The three Darkseid characters eventually gather at the same time on the Ark. Shadow explains to Eggman what the Chaos Emeralds are needed for. They are needed to power the Eclipse Cannon, a weapon of mass destruction created by Gerald Robotnik that has the ability to destroy planets. Basically, a Death Star. With this power, Shadow explains that Eggman can rule the world. Rouge somehow manages to insert herself into this partnership by mentioning that she knows where some of the Chaos Emeralds are. Thus, the trio agree to work together, and their stories take off. As you can imagine, eventually the two stories intertwine. The heroes catch on to Eggman and Shadow's plan, and make it their goal to make sure they don't succeed. They travel through the military base, the forest, Eggman's secret base in what looks like Egypt, and at the end of it all, end up in space on the Ark.
Green light for launch. Primary engine ignition on. Beginning liftoff countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shuttle liftoff.
Before the heroes arrive on the Ark, the Darkseid characters decide to test the Eclipse Cannon on the moon, and end up destroying half of it in the process.
Except I'm not gonna piss on the Earth. I'm gonna go higher. I'm pissing on the moon. How do you like that, Obama? I pissed on the moon, you idiot.
From this point on, Eggman gives Earth 24 hours to give in and assimilate to his Eggman Empire. Otherwise, they will see the Eclipse Cannon fire once again. By this point, Eggman and Shadow are only missing one more Chaos Emerald to achieve max power of the Eclipse Cannon. Tails is the owner of the final Chaos Emerald, and the heroes play right into their trap. Tails assigns Sonic to place a fake Chaos Emerald in the Ark's control room to offset the other emeralds, but while Sonic is doing that, Tails and Amy get caught by Eggman, and Sonic attempts to save them. In a very morbid sequence, Eggman traps Sonic in a pod and launches him straight into the Earth's atmosphere, where the pod Sonic was launched in blows up, implying that Sonic was killed. Tails and Amy are understandably upset, so Tails decides to kick Eggman's ass. Sonic survives the sequence by using Chaos Control with the fake Chaos Emerald, which teleports him back into the Ark. He is able to get back in time to stop the cannon from firing, and the Earth is safe. Woo! This is how the hero story ends. The Dark story follows a very similar pattern, but includes a really annoying Rouge level. Gosh, I hate Matt Space. For real though, instead of the hero stopping the cannon from firing, Eggman acquires the final Chaos Emerald and preps the Eclipse Cannon. So what happens? Which is the definitive ending for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle? Well, how these two campaigns end aren't the true endings. Once you clear both campaigns, a new story pops up named Last. When you begin this path, Eggman is frustrated that the cannon does not fire even with all 7 Chaos Emeralds in place. In the meantime, Sonic and Knuckles regroup with Tails and Amy, and Rouge decides to pop in as well. Instead of the cannon firing, the Ark has become a giant meteor that has set itself on a collision course with Earth. The Ark had been programmed to do this when all 7 Chaos Emeralds were collected. This is made apparent by a video recording left by Gerald Robotnik. Eggman's grandfather made it Shadow's mission to collect all the Chaos Emeralds for this very moment. Gerald was so distraught by Maria's passing that he lost all faith in humanity and wanted revenge on the entire human race. At the end of the video recording, you can hear someone saying, "Ready," implying they are getting ready to execute him at the end of this recording. Freaking crazy. Eggman has a revelation during the scene and decides that he does not agree with what his grandfather has planned and wants to stop the Ark from impacting the Earth. The rest of the characters decide to team up for this final sequence, and the last stage begins. Cannon's Core. Cannon's Core is like a montage of all playable characters helping to stop the Ark. You begin as Tails, but once his part is complete, the game immediately switches you to Eggman. Time and points carry over. I think this entire sequence is a really epic way to tie together the end of the game, and it continues with Rouge, Knuckles, and then Sonic to finish it off. You may have already recognized, but this stage does leave someone out. Shadow. Shadow decided not to help because he doesn't think there's a chance to save anyone, but Amy lectures him on why he should help the others. During this conversation, he remembers Maria's last words to him.
For all people who live on that planet, give them a chance to be happy. Let them live for their dreams. Shadow, I know you can do it. That's the reason why you were brought into this world. Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Once he realizes his true purpose, he rushes to go help the others. When Sonic and Knuckles arrive at the core, they are stopped by the Bio Lizard, the prototype of the ultimate life form, created by Gerald Robotnik. Shadow shows up and tells Sonic and Knuckles that he'll take care of it. After the battle is completed, Sonic and Knuckles take the Master Emerald to the core to stop the Chaos Emeralds for good. However, it doesn't seem to have an effect. What does end up happening is that the Bio Lizard decides to fuse with the Ark itself to continue the collision course towards Earth. I know this sounds insanely unbelievable, but remember, Knuckles can fly/glide, so we kind of already passed the point of no return. In order to stop the Ark, Sonic and Shadow decide to take it to a whole new level by using the power of the Chaos Emeralds. Oh yeah, they're going Super Sonic and Super Shadow. This is like their Super Saiyan form. Yankee with no brim form. Ford F650 form. Michael Jordan and the Bulls in the 90s form. This is it. The final boss is named the Final Hazard, which is the Ark fused with the Bio Lizard. Sonic and Shadow have to defeat this thing in space, which is an epic finale. As you attack the Final Hazard, you switch between Sonic and Shadow each time it takes damage. Once you get its health bar to 0, Sonic and Shadow use Chaos Control on the Ark to teleport it away from the Earth. Shadow uses the last of his strength for this, and ends up falling towards Earth as his energy depletes. The world is saved, but the team loses Shadow as a result. As the credits begin to roll, the team reflects on this loss. It's a very melancholic sequence where all the characters talk with one another about what's transpired throughout the game. Personally, I think this scene is a great way to cap off the game because it allows the player to reflect alongside the characters. A very unique dynamic. This is the true ending of the game. And now that we've covered the main gameplay and story, let's talk about everything else that makes this game great. If you're a die-hard Sonic fan, you've already recognized I haven't even mentioned the Chows. Chows are creatures in this game that you can raise like Pokemon, but describing them isn't that simple. You can interact with these creatures via the Chow Garden, a separate world from the main story that you can access with Chow Garden keys. These keys are accessible by all characters in each level, so you can spend time with the Chows with your favorite character. I wouldn't really recommend Eggman since his legs look crazy. Each Chow has stats that can be increased. You can level them up with Chaos Drives and animals collected through the levels you play. This can increase their stamina, power, ability to swim, amongst other skills. You can enter them in tournaments like Chow Karate or racing events where they can compete against AI-controlled Chows. Additionally, there's the Chow Kindergarten where they can learn fun things like how to sing or dance. You can visit the principal, the nurse, and there's also a shady locker where you can buy black market Chow goods. Sounds super sketchy, I know, but this is where you can buy accessories and snacks for your Chows. Besides from spending time with the Chows, you can also play a 2-player game mode where you can battle against a friend. I'm using some stock footage since I didn't get to record anything in 2-player mode, but as you can see, the concept is pretty neat. You can use both characters in the story as well as fan favorites like Metal Sonic and Chaos to duke it out. Another game mode that is available is Kart Racing. This is a very watered down version of say a game like Team Sonic Racing. You can tell where they were trying to go with this game mode, but the handling of the carts and overall experience is very lackluster. I'm not sure if anyone enjoys this part of Sonic Adventure 2, but if you do, let me know in the comments. In this next part of the video, I'm going to change the tone a bit. Are you a music person? Not like a musician per se, but someone that just really enjoys music. Do you remember the first time you found a band or artist that you really connected with? It's almost indescribable, right? I always think of Linkin Park as being the first band that really got me into music, but before them, there was another band that was truly the gateway to my interest in music. That band was Crush 40. Crush 40 is a duo made up of Johnny Gioeli and Jun Senoue. They're mainly known for their work making music for the Sonic the Hedgehog series. To me, I think of them as some of the most talented musicians I've ever discovered, not just for their awesome vocals and guitar work, but also their ability to encapsulate what Sonic is about in their music. The main track for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is Live and Learn, which to this day is still one of my favorite songs of all time. Parts of this song play throughout the menu screens, but where it's featured most notably is in the final boss battle. Being able to take down the final boss when the song is playing in the background is seriously the coolest thing. I was awestruck as a kid during this moment, but even now, I find tons of joy playing the ending of this game because of the music. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle includes lots of great tracks as well. Jun Senoue was the sound director of this game, and his guitar playing and style can be found in most songs. There are all kinds of music genres in this game, from electronic stuff like Shadow's main theme to the epic hip-hop tracks that play in every Knuckles level. The extent to which Sonic Team USA went to make sure that this game had a great soundtrack really shows, and I'm happy that it's one of the things that made this game so memorable. Playing through this game always gives me a sense of nostalgia. It reminds me of being a kid again. This era of Sonic games was truly something special, and to me was instrumental for my love of video games. The original Sonic Adventure, Sonic Heroes, even Shadow's self-titled game I remember so vividly. The majority of these games were developed by Sonic Team USA, a now defunct division of Sonic Team. These games all had their own twist on what a Sonic game could be, but the similar gameplay made them cohesive and easy to pick up on if you had played the previous installments. This window of Sonic games remains my favorite within the Sonic franchise, and it makes you think, will Sega ever release a game like this again? Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is by no means a perfect game. It will never be listed as a top 10 game of all time by gaming news outlets. The voice acting, specifically audio syncing, can make the story seem cringe. The camera in this game is notorious for losing track of the character you're playing as. And ultimately, it will never be the original side-scrolling Sonic game that so many modern Sonic games try to tap into. But that's not the point. To me, what Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is a timeless classic that I look back on and think, man, I'm so fortunate to have played this game as a kid. The game has awesome characters, unique level design, great music, a memorable story, and it introduced one of the franchise's most beloved characters, Shadow. It's one of the only 3D Sonic games that actually got so much right, and even if that's a heavy statement, I'm happy this game exists. Sega had the ambition to bring Sonic into the 3D fray and made a game that left a long-lasting impact on so many of us. So what's next? Will Sega ever make a 3D Sonic game like this again? Well, it's been almost 20 years at the time of making this video, and I have not played a Sonic game that has brought me as much joy. I think the most recent game, gameplay-wise, that got closest to it was Sonic 06, but we all know how that went. Hot take, I don't think Sonic 06 was that bad, but I'll talk more about that in a future video. Anyways, if you look at the reviews for Sonic games released since Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, what games in the franchise have topped it? Sonic Generations and Sonic Mania? Sonic Generations was a hodgepodge game that combined the best of Sonic and came out 10 years ago. And Sonic Mania builds upon the original formula of 2D Sonic in amazing ways, but just isn't my cup of tea. I want a pure 3D Sonic platformer. No speed burst sections, no side-scrolling, no BS. The game doesn't have to be called Sonic Adventure 3 either, just something along the formula of the games developed by Sonic Team USA. I want to believe that one day we'll eventually get a game like this again, but all we can do is wait. I'm sorry if the ending of this video sounded a bit ranty. I'm just frustrated with how the Sonic franchise has had such a roller coaster of a direction since it went 3D. It's actually interesting to see how they haven't released a main title Sonic game since 2017, that being Sonic Forces. I haven't seen any concrete evidence of what the next title could be, but with Sonic Forces having done so poorly, there may be a chance for the Sonic game franchise to take on a new direction. And on that note, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all liked this comprehensive review and discussion of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. There's obviously a lot more I could have covered in this video, but I tried to hone in on what I felt like was most important from my perspective. If you have anything to add to what was mentioned in this video, please leave a comment down below. And if you enjoyed watching this, please hit the like button and make sure to subscribe. I plan on doing more videos like this in the future, including more Sonic games. Anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.